fact news you can trust.
All right, welcome Patriots. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. Just wanted to take a couple minutes and go through the skies with you. Then I also want to touch on some of the prison locations. Currently, CONUS, we're sitting at about 117 aircraft up over the United States. I see a two-ship rolling out of the northeast, and I'm guessing that that two ships probably headed down to Yuma, Arizona. We had one around this time yesterday doing the same thing. And so it's probably on a tempo right now. And so these guys are heading to probably Yuma or Nellis as well. So we'll keep our eye on it and see where they end up. You'll notice we've got a lot of C-17s up today, some C-5s. So there's a heavy transports rolling around. Got an E-6 on the west coast over California. We'll get a closer look here at all this stuff in a minute. Another E-6 over central United States. And let's see, another Reach aircraft. One of the things I was going to look at real fast was to zoom down here to Central Florida. I think what looks like to be a search and rescue activity going on. We've got Coast Guard called out of Tampa. Looks like, or Clearwater. Headed over. It looks like they're doing some search routes, running some search grids over here too. This one, obviously they split and went two different directions, which is interesting for a Coast Guard on the coast. But you can see this little CN-35, which looks a lot like a C-130. You guys haven't seen one, but that's a Coast Guard CN-35, and it's a good little. It's a high wing, which is nice because if you're trying to look out the windows and do search and rescue activities, you don't have wings getting in the way. So, but it's a pretty good little SAR aircraft. Got a lot of hang time and can hang out looking for stuff in the water for a long period of time. So you can see he's out here just kind of running across the grid. So it looks like he started out here and he's kind of working his way back to the coastline. So more than likely we just got an aircraft that's lost, or it's pretty far off the coast. So I wouldn't say it's surfers. So, but let's see here. This H-60 here, like it's running kind of along the over in Titusville area. So Merritt Island, Titusville, Cape Canaveral right here. So you got Banana River and the Indian River. And so this guy is probably, looks like he's running along the Indian River there. And this guy looks like he's shooting the beach, headed south down towards West Palm. So I don't know what they lost or what they're looking for, but they definitely are all working together on something. So this is our infamous Gitmo 845. I get asked this question all the time. Hey, what is that aircraft? Is that it's Gitmo. It's prisoners. And so it's a little BE-20. It's a beach manufactured aircraft, and that is actually the base commander's airplane. And so you'll see base commander and his staff flying that thing quite a bit. So but that is pretty common occurrence. It looks to me like it's actually rolling into Pompano Beach, rolling into Lauderdale. So of course we know POTUS is down there, so kind of an interesting. I don't see him going into that location too often. Usually he just goes straight from Jacksonville out to the spa, and so doesn't look like that's happening. So all right, got an E-6 over central United States. And so for you guys that aren't familiar with that one, that's basically a what they call a looking glass. That is a command center, line command center. So it basically takes launch command for ICBMs in the event of a nuclear strike. It's kind of like night watch, same kind of thing, but it's air-based command of ICBMs. And I think it coordinates too with subs. So, all right, more refuelers off the West Coast. So we're going to delve in here to the San Diego area, take a closer look. And so it looks like we got a lot of the C2s, little activity coming out of the Yuma, Vegas area. So little DC-8s rolling out of San Diego. C-130s coming out. C-17, which is, I don't know why, it seems to be, it's just doing some circles around the area. Looks like it's just doing touch and goes, really. Or it could be doing some drops. You know, you got people maybe getting their jumps in or something. So this is a tanker. So got a little Osprey off the islands out here, and H-60 rolling out. So these aircraft in gray are on ground here down south. And so these are low altitude, 2,800 feet. This one is high altitude, 25,000 feet, which is kind of in the air refueling, smooth air area usually. 21 to 25 is typically where I see the air refuelers, just because it's there's no traffic. You know, they're running along this track right here, this air refueling track, or this one right here, this AR-209, right? But they'll usually in that altitude range, because the air's a little smoother there and there's no traffic. So, but yeah, a little Osprey right there. So, and let's go up here by Oakland. So out here in near Pelosi land, we've got another E6 that's out doing some runs. A couple looks like H-60, some C-27s, more air refueling, which this one looks like it's actually just running a pattern. It's low altitude, so he's probably just doing touch and goes somewhere in that area, one of the fields there. Got a C-17 that looks like it is flying all over the place. I don't know. It came out of the northeast, south of Eureka, and probably landing. Let's get a closer look here. Maybe going in at Tinker or not, or Beale Air Force Base. So one or the other. But here's your other air refueler, which looks like he's high altitude, so he's probably servicing some fighters. And we'll take a quick gander out here at little Hawaii. I got people that follow us in Hawaii, and I never talk about it. So I always go right and never go left. So today we're going left. So let's see what we got out here. We got the C-130. Got a little G5. Looks like it's rolling out. Now that one's up at altitude already. So usually not going to go. Well, no, it's actually descending. So yeah, I just straight up, straight down, I guess. So it's probably rolling in here into the Big Island. So what's on that one? But got a C-17. Looks like it's coming from across the Pacific, and 737. It looks like it just rolled out of Hickam Air Force Base, and another tanker. So let's see. I'm curious to see where the C-17 rolled out of. Like Philippines. And you know, one of the bad things about this aviation map is that it is in native language, and I don't read any of that, so I don't even know what this says. Okay, so I don't know. But anyway, all right. So that said, let's get over to get back over the U.S. I will take a quick gander. Canada, you know, a lot of people ask me to take a look at Canada. As you can see, when we get up here at Canada, and even up here, here's, you know, Alaska, got some, looks like some tanker activity and some C-17s going on, a couple C-130s. That's C-130 on the ground. Not too much ever shows up here. I don't know why. And the same thing with Canada. We hit this border right here, and I think you guys are just on a different, I don't know, they just never show. So got a Reach C-130 down here in Central America, and looks like another set. Now South America, as we start looking, so I don't really see anything. I see this this little Canadian, what is it, a Bombardier Challenger 605. That's coming out of just cruising across Canada, but nothing major going on up there that I see. These are all what they call jets, and these look to be Embraer 145s, which those are all manufactured down there. So, okay, let's look at Europe real fast. What we got going on here. So, we got an Airbus coming in. Now that Triple R, it's United Kingdom, and let me see where he's coming out of. Now we had one roll out of yesterday. We had one come out of Iceland. So we're getting some UK traffic coming back and forth. It's kind of interesting. That's the US Reach. Looks like it's coming out of near Luxembourg. And we have here another 737. That's probably a whitetail. Looks to be coming out of Italy. So C-130, that's US. So Okay, that said, it looks like we got an air transport rolling out of Saudi Arabia area. So actually, it's just rolling out, just getting off the ground now. So um, now that's kind of a hot spot right there. So we're not going to see much. Anything that's going on over there will rarely transpond because I think things are going hot. So anyway, all right. So that said, let's look at Guantanamo Bay. Looks like we've got a United Airlines flight that came out of Jacksonville. That's just troop rotation. So we don't have anything new. Today's Wednesday. There's nothing on the board for today. And our Kalita charter aircraft hasn't done much in about 24 hours, but it came out of Dominican Republic and rolled over to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. And so these continue to go that way. It went from Miami over to DO over to Port-au-Prince. It looks like it's still sitting in Port-au-Prince today. And so there is that. And let's look down at XPL Honduras. So a little bit of traffic going on there. This is actually Mexican Air Force that has landed over in XPL. So on to N163PA. That seems to be our only Phoenix bird right now that's kind of active. The other ones are down, probably down for maintenance just based on the amount of flying they've been doing. But that one landed 2 hours and 17 minutes ago. It is went from Athens, Greece, over to, I guess it's Chania, Greece. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but one of the little islands out here. Okay. And so now, if you remember, this one is actually one that came out of Baghdad. And so it went from Baghdad to Athens over to this little island, but it's been through man, this thing's actually ran the gamut. It's been to Iraq, it's been to Germany, it's been to Turkey, Greece. I mean, it's all over the place. So I don't know who's on that bird, but they are one busy puppy. So we'll definitely keep eyes on that one. So if they're rounding people up, or these are black hats or white hats, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that one, but we're gonna keep our eye on it because this family of birds right here, as you guys know, are definitely part of the mix of the aircraft that we see heading to all of these island locations. So with that said, I want to take you guys over to Iceland, and I want to show you two prisons over in Iceland because somebody brought it to my attention last night. We were talking, and one of the prison locations is a low security, women only prison, and this one, what's it called, Litla Ran, is a high security prison that is down on the south end, almost similar to proximity to our Terceira prison location on the island. It seems to be on the south end of the island, and it's a high security, long-term prison. And so that's what I think is in play, that these people are getting transported to this little coastal town prison right here that's high security. Now, that said, let me see if I can find the other one. Now, this one is the Home Shaddai, and I probably butchered that, but that's the Home Shaddai prison. And this is a women's prison, but it's not, it says low security, but it's got some pretty high fence around it. And so, but this is for women only, and that's also in Iceland, okay? And so, I don't know that we are sending, we talk about how Haspel hasn't been seen in a while. These are, prime locations. We talk about the 509 numbers at the back end of Ghislaine's prison number, right? Where if she was really at Medical Detention Center, MDC Brooklyn, or whatever it is, Manhattan, it would be a 053, 052, 054 number, right? Because that's New York, northern, southern, and I think, or something. But it says 509, which tells you she's not at that location, okay? And so this makes me think that I don't know that they'd put her here because this just doesn't seem high enough. This doesn't seem like a high enough prison security place, but this one does, okay? And so, take just kind of a look at this from the road. But this is the prison we were just talking about. Both of these are in Iceland, but this is a high security prison on Iceland. I guess there's nowhere to go. You're on an island. So, all right. So over to this other Terceira. We had been looking at this before, and I went and pulled the information on it because I wanted to make sure. Now this is that island that we see them. It's TER is the airport code. It's an Air Force base that we see these aircraft coming out of. All these planes that I've been tracking are coming to this spot and to the Iceland spot, okay? And so both of these prison locations are almost dead center on the island, southern side. So if you want to go to Google Maps and look for them yourself. But this prison right here, this is, as you guys see, it's D'Angra do Heroísimo. I butchered that, I know I did. Prison. And this is it right here, but this is a high security prison. And you can tell by the walls, okay? Now, these prisons right here are all part of the prison system, and these aren't all on the island, but this is the one on the island that we're looking at here. And you can see, that ain't no joke, man. You ain't getting out of this bad, dude. And the shots from the street are old shots, so you can't really tell what's the entrance to that. It looks like just it's up on a hill, But this is a prison I've been talking about that I think people are going to. And my thought is that this is probably the males going to this one and the females are going to Iceland. But then when I saw you have both high security at Iceland and here, then, my thought is that they're probably just dividing them up and separating them because you don't want everybody in one spot. But I'm going to scan out. I'll back out of this so you guys can see where I was talking about. Here's that spot on the island. Over here to the right is the Air Force Base. And this is Terceira Island. You can see it's a big volcano right here, just to the northwest side. And again, here's your prison. This is your Air Force Base right here. It's a U.S. Air Force Base, okay? But you can see, kind of like Costa Rica, there's just a couple of roads to get over there, all right? But this place, that's the Azores, and it is out off the coast of Portugal and Spain, and it is in the middle of nowhere, all right? Now, some of the other prisons that we were looking at, right here is this one where we said it was the special high security Monsanto prison. That is actually right. I want to say it's right in here. Okay. And so that is but it's only hop, skip, and a jumps from that super high special security prison over to here. So, but this, folks, is in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And so you can see nothing there. And of course, Iceland up here, nothing out here. And these kind of fit the same build as we talk about in the past. We look at these prison locations. They all kind of fit the same framework. You've got XPL Honduras, which is water on two sides, and, a military base. So not anybody can just, get on it. Then you've got the spa, which is Guantanamo Bay, which we've got Google images that are over top of that. And so we can't see really what it looks like today. And then we've got Terceira Island, which is what we're looking at now. And then you've got Iceland at the very top. And so those are the locations I think our prisoners are going to. I think there are multiple. Now, are these high level folks? I don't think they're not public ones yet that are going to, get our attention where we're all getting fired up about folks going. But I do think folks like Gina Haspel, I think people that have kind of dropped off radar where we've gone, hey, I haven't seen them in a long time. Where did they go? Right. And so, and we know they were guilty. And so, you got people like Sally Yates. You haven't heard anything out of them. You've got Loretta Lynch. Has anybody seen Comey lately? There's a handful of folks, but like Gina Haspel disappeared. Right. And so, with the Maxwell having the nomenclature at the back end of the numbers at the back of her prison thing as a 509. And I want to say, yeah. And so then if you look at Rainier at his numbers here, 177, right? And then you've got Maxwell is not in line with, this was 509, right? So 177 for Keith Rainier, who is the cult leader of Nexium, which was a huge sex trafficking organization. And then you've got, Maxwell, who is also ingrained in that. And we probably, you know, that stuff all ties into the Rothschilds and the Bronfmans and everybody else. So that stuff, the chances of them putting them both at the same location, Brooklyn MDC, is not likely. Very unlikely, actually. So I think this 509 would indicate Maxwell is probably at Guantanamo Bay, because that's where I thought she was to begin with, based on the aircraft tracking that went down there. And I think Rainier at 177 is probably at one of those other locations that we're looking at, either Iceland or Sierra. And so that's it, guys. So if anything changes, anything comes up, I will come back on. I think we are getting to the point where things are about to go hot. I think all the assets are in play, and we're up to the point of somebody pulling the trigger and activity starting to happen. So you guys be safe. God bless. Monkey out.